Good evening, everyone. My name is Rick Smith. I'm the president of the Canadian Climate Institute, and I'm the opening speaker. And I think the reason they asked me to do that is because I brought props. So fair warning, I only have 7 minutes. The clock's already started. I'm going to ask for some audience participation. So I only have 7 minutes. So if you lollygag at responding to my questions, it's going to come off my time. So when I ask for some audience participation, if you can just quickly put up your hand, I'd appreciate it. So here we go. Are you ready?
We're ready.
All right. So here's my first question. How many of you came with one of these in your pocket this evening? Well, I see some people put up your hand. You got to hold up your device if you came with one of these in your... Nobody. The answer is nobody. Okay, here's my second question. How many of you came with one of these in your pocket this evening? Hold them up. Hold them up. The answer is, with the possible exception of this fellow over here, the answer is everybody came with one of these this evening. And that right there is what you call technological transition. And that's what I'm going to be speaking about for the next 5 minutes and 50 seconds. For those younger members of the crowd, this is a rotary dial phone, of course. Many of us are old enough to have grown up with one of these. Then we got push-button phones. Then we got very large, clunky cell phones. And then we got much better, smaller cell phones. In 1982, when I was in grade 8, I can still remember the excitement of being invited over to my friend Mike Matisco's house. And he had just got a brand new Commodore PET computer. And I can remember the excitement with all of our friends of crowding into his bedroom and looking at this beautiful white, I swear it glowed like a sacred monolith. And we were afraid to touch its magical keyboard. Then, of course, we all got computers. Then we got laptops. Then we got the internet and social media, and everything changed. In a similar vein, we're all experiencing right now the transition from the dominance of cable TV to the dominance of streaming and YouTube. My point here is that we know what transitions look like. We know what transitions feel like to live through. We know that in many cases, excuse me, we know that in many cases the new machines are just better. And it's this new functionality, this machine improvement that drives the transitions uptake. And that's what's happening right now in the energy space. There are many arguments for the energy transition. You're going to hear some very smart, talented people articulating them tonight. But my kickoff pitch this evening is that first and foremost, this is a transition that is going to make our life better. And because of that, it's going to happen sooner than we think. Now, climate change is a complicated, multifaceted thing. But if you were to draw one thread through the discussion, it is the necessity of electrification. In order to solve climate change, we need to electrify pretty much everything, and we need to make sure that we're producing that electricity in a non-polluting way. So we need to transition to electric vehicles. We need to transition to electric heat pumps. And we need to produce our electricity with non-polluting sources like solar and wind and hydro. The good news is that these new machines aren't just better for the planet, they're better for consumers as well. I can still remember the first time I drove an electric vehicle. My two sons were much smaller at the time. And the sales guy took us to a quiet street in the back near the lot. And he said, "Floor it." And the acceleration and the handling of this car was off the charts. And after the test drive, my sons and I were just grinning like idiots. We live in a drafty old Toronto semi. Our existing HVAC doesn't properly heat the second and third floors. And so the mini split heat pumps we just got are incredible. They're operated with a little remote control that allows you to vary temperature by room. In addition to their improved functionality, it turns out that these new devices are a superior financial deal. Renewables are quite simply the most cost-effective forms of energy ever devised. Solar power costs have fallen by more than 90% over the past decade. They continue to decline. In most places in Canada, heat pumps are cheaper to operate than the fossil fuel alternatives. And over the medium to longer term, EVs are cheaper for consumers as well. So increasingly, there's no need to appeal to altruism in the energy transition. Consumers are increasingly seeing the inherent benefits of the new machines in terms of improvements to their quality of life. Clearly, there's lots of similarities in terms of previous technological transitions and the current move to electricity, but there are, of course, important differences as well, and I don't want to gloss that over. The biggest difference is that the energy transition has a deadline. In order to ensure a sustainable future for human life on Earth, in order to stop global warming, we must meet the scientifically established goal of net zero emissions by 2050. So the clock is ticking, time is of the essence, and I get asked all the time by folks, what can I do to fight climate change? And increasingly, I just say this. I answer, embrace the transition. Embrace this transition like you've done with many other transitions in your lives before, and encourage everyone you know to do the same. So the next time you replace your furnace, get a heat pump. The next time you replace your car, buy electric. There's lots of grumbling about the electricity transition. There was a terrible article in the Globe and Mail yesterday about electric vehicles. Lots of naysaying in the media about the alleged deficiencies of heat pumps and electric vehicles. Ignore all of this. This transition is coming. It's coming more quickly than we think, but it cannot come fast enough. All right, I got my last 30 seconds here, so get ready. Here's the last audience participation. If you're a baby boomer, I want you to put up your hand. A lot of baby boomers here, and I'm sure online. Now, keep your hands up, baby boomers. My question is this: did you want to be the last person on your block to ditch your black and white TV and get a color TV? Or did you want to get that color TV? I think you wanted that color TV. So if you did, please don't be the last person on your block to buy an EV. Are there any Gen Xers in the crowd? My people. Thank you, Jen Hollett. Proud Gen Xer in the front row. Gen Xers, did you want to be that last person in your friend group with a cassette Walkman on your hip? Or did you want to have that super cool CD version on your birthday? I know you wanted that CD player, because I certainly did. So please don't be that person sticking with natural gas when your neighbors are buying heat pumps. And finally, of course, millennials and Gen Z, and I'm pointing at my son here in the third row. Millennials and Gen Z, put up your hand. My charge is simply this. Suffice it to say that fossil fuels are analog, and you are digital natives, and you need to lead this charge. This transition is not, of course, inevitable. Certainly rotary dial phones were not adamantly defended by powerful vested interests like fossil fuels are today. But we can do this together. We've transitioned before many times, and accessing those positive cultural reference points will help us to do so again. Thank you very much.